The room was quiet, except for the ticking of the wall clock echoing in the space. Caitriona Balfe sat motionless in the armchair by the window, her eyes staring out at the garden where the leaves were turning yellow in the gloomy autumn afternoon. Her heart felt like it was being held back, not by the weather, but by an unspoken secret. A few weeks ago, she had made the most heartbreaking decision of her life, to terminate her pregnancy with Tony McGill, the husband she had sworn to spend the rest of her life with. No one knew, no one except the doctor and Sam. Caitriona never thought she would fall into such a spiral of emotions. From a famous actress with professionalism and composure, she suddenly became a woman full of doubts and inner turmoil. It all started last summer when filming the final season of Outlander pushed her and her co-star, longtime confidant, Sam Heughan, into a dangerous gray area, where real feelings and acting are blurred. They didn't kiss off-screen, there was no declaration of love, but the way Sam looked at her, affectionate, patient, as if he were waiting for something beyond reality, made her heart flutter again. "Sam, this shouldn't be happening," Caitriona once whispered after a tense shoot, as they sat side by side in the crew van. He didn't say anything, he just took her hand, gently, slowly. And in that moment, she felt the world stop spinning. A few weeks later, Caitriona found out she was pregnant. The child was the result of a brief night with Tony, while she was trying to save her frayed marriage. But her heart, after all, was no longer there. Tony didn't know she was pregnant. He was always busy with work, concerts, and long trips. There was a distance between them that couldn't be filled with apologies or old memories. One night, Caitriona called Sam to her apartment in London. She didn't say much, just looked at him with tearful eyes and placed his hand on her stomach. "You don't have to say anything. I just need you to know," she choked out. Sam didn't pull his hand away. He bowed his head, touching her forehead lightly. "I am here." No one said anything, but they both understood. The baby wasn't Sam's. But if it were born, the relationship between the three of them would be irreparable. No one was at fault, but they were all stuck. The next morning, Caitriona made an appointment with the doctor. And just 2 days later, she walked silently into the clinic, her eyes dry, but her heart heavy as a rock. Sam waited outside, not asking questions, not judging. When she emerged, pale and weak, he just put his arms around her. From that day on, Caitriona whispered as she recounted the story to her only close friend, "I never saw the world the same way again. Everything I did was for Sam. But I don't know if he really understood that." Sam Heughan never spoke of it again. But everyone on the set noticed the strange change between them. They no longer juggled on set as before, but the look they exchanged, deep, quiet, spoke louder than any words of love. In a recent interview, when asked about her family plans, Sam paused for a moment before answering. "There are things in life that are not planned, but they still change you forever." The answer caused a stir among fans, but no one understood the meaning behind it. Caitriona, in a small corner of her apartment where she often hides from the world, wrote in her diary, "If one day someone asks me why I gave up a part of my body, I will not say it was for fame, not for career, and certainly not out of fear. I will say, because I loved someone I could not have. And I do not want that child to grow up in separation and silence." This story will forever be a secret. No press knows, no magazine publishes it. But for Caitriona, it is an indelible milestone, a testament to suppressed love, full of torment and regret. She didn't know if the future would bring Sam closer or push them further apart. But at least she had made a choice. Not the right choice, not necessarily the best choice, but the only choice she could make at the time. It had been almost 3 months since that rainy night in London, when Sam had held Caitriona in his arms as if he could just squeeze her a little tighter, and he would be able to erase all the pain in her heart. Sam Heughan had never been the type to express his emotions easily. But since he had learned the truth about the unborn child, he had not slept well. There were nights when he would wake up in the middle of his dreams, just to text Caitriona, "Are you okay?" And just an ellipsis that appeared for a long time, then disappeared without a reply, was enough to tell him that she was trying to live on, just like him. The silence was killing him every day. Sam had thought that as long as he did not break the rules, did not interfere in her private life, did not utter blind words of love, he could protect her. But after all, it was that silence that left Caitriona alone to face the cruelest decision of her life. One cold December afternoon, Sam left the studio early, driving straight to the small apartment where Caitriona often dropped by after filming. No warning, no flowers, no beating around the bush. She opened the door, looking surprised, a little thinner, but her eyes still as gentle as ever. "I can't go on like this," Sam said after a long silence. "I can't pretend to be a co-star, a colleague, an outsider." Caitriona paused, her hands shaking as she set her teacup down on the table. "Sam, what are you talking about?" "I love you," he said, as firmly as the first time he stepped onto a Broadway stage. "I know, I was slow. I left you alone to make the hardest decision. But if I don't say it now, I'll lose you forever." Caitriona turned away, tears falling uncontrollably. She had waited for him to say it for years, every season, every public event, every fake hug and genuine look. But when it came, it was like a knife that ripped through the last part of her stability. "I aborted a baby, Sam. I don't know if you'll ever see me the same again. I don't see you as someone who had an abortion," Sam said softly, reaching out to take her hand. "I see you as a strong, brave woman who made the choice that you thought was right. You're not alone. Not anymore." She burst into tears. There was nothing left to hide. There was nothing left to hold back. She leaned her head against his chest, and for the first time in years of hiding everything, they kissed. No boundaries, no screens, no cameras. In the days that followed, they both disappeared from social media. No one knew where they were. Rumors began to swirl that Sam was in Scotland, that Caitriona had pulled out of a new film project. But in reality, they were in a cottage in the Highlands, no paparazzi, no schedules. Just pine trees, candles, and time for themselves. One night, by the fire, Caitriona whispered, "I used to think I didn't deserve to be loved after all." Sam fell silent, placing his hand on her chest. "You've always been worthy, you just never believed it," he said. "And if you give me the chance, I'll prove it every day, no stage, no spotlight." Caitriona didn't answer, but she nodded, slowly. And in that moment, she knew, she had finally chosen the right man.